Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I call it El Jefe, but I just didn't have anything else better to call it. It means the boss. And I don't know, it might be silly because it was intended to, to reflect kind of my thing at home with kids and a dog and a yard. So I'm the boss, but I'm not like the boss for anything else. I'm just it was just as good as name as any. So I hope it doesn't have any negative, I hope there's no negative connotations with it. Anyhow, this is my channel. I'm going to be building on it, building content. I feel that I have things that I can share with my community, especially the aviation community. I'm currently a captain at a major airline. Because of our policies and social media policies, I'm not at liberty to discuss who that is. If at any time I do mention them, I want everyone to know that my opinions are my own and they do not reflect the opinions of my employer. So anyways, I'm also an aircraft owner. I am a CFII, and in fact, I'm on my way right now to the airport of Kissimmee. Kissimmee is a small airport in Florida. Well, it's not small. It's it's a regional airport in Florida, just south of Orlando International. Not that far at all. And it has a control tower and 4 runways. Fairly large runways, up to 6,000 feet, so they can accommodate corporate jets. And I've even seen 737s land on that. Anyways, I'm on my way there because I have a pilot who wants to get checked out to rent one of my Cessna 172 Papas. 172 Papa is a 180 horsepower Cessna. It's very nice. If you look on my videos, you'll see, well, they're all 180 horsepowers in our club. I have 2 of them, November 9447 Lima. It's previously a Civil Air Patrol airplane, and now it's being used for instruction. It's leased to a local flight school at the airport, Star Academy, and I hope to put up a video for November 98981. It's a STOL Cessna 172 Papa. STOL stands for short takeoff and landing. So with the additional horsepower, it's been and the increased camber of the wing, the increased capability make it a very formidable performer. And you can take off in very short runways, very short fields, and land as well, and climbs really well. It's you're going to climb 1,000 to 1,500 feet per minute, depending on how heavy you are, of course, and that's pretty good for a Cessna 172. Both airplanes are equipped with they're analog instruments, and one has a KLN 89, a King GPS, which does the job. It's older technology, and it gets you to and from, but it's not the best piece of equipment for LNAV, VNAV. So we are going to be upgrading it to a GNX 375 or 175, a Garmin, with better capabilities, and a couple of G5s. So that's in the works, but we just got these planes, and so we're building up the membership for usage. Where they're made available out of Kissimmee. They're available for time building as well as for instruction. If you need an instructor, Star Academy's got 3 or 4 instructors. I'm also an instructor there with them. I operate part-time, so I'm also available to do checkouts and to fly the plane with you. If you get checked out, we'll discuss rates depending on how many hours you need. If you just need to build some time, a lot of guys contact us. They want to rate for 50 to 100 hours. In fact, the fellow I'm going to meet now interested in splitting 100 hours to build towards their commercial license. And that's great for us. That's great for them. We give them a great deal, and they can take care of that time quickly, so they can move up to being CFIs and making some money, getting paid for their flight time. So anyways, this is the beginning of our channel. And I'm on my way. I'm about, about 10 minutes away from the airport. I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing with this student for his checkout. So, some of the things I like to see is, my favorite is slow flight. Just to get the pilot in that mode to control the aircraft at slow speeds, because I feel that is where most pilots, especially inexperienced pilots, are going to have the most difficulty, primarily on the landings. I see a lot of guys aiming for the numbers, something that, that's something that you do for accuracy, and that's just what you do in general aviation. But that's not the safest thing to do, in my opinion. There is a touchdown zone, and that touchdown zone extends, to the first 1,500 feet of the runway. So if you were to aim for the touchdown markers, that will give you a better descent rate or glide path over the obstacles. If you're aiming for the numbers, you're coming in pretty low to make those numbers. And a lot of guys aim for the numbers, and when they can't make the numbers, they end up pitching down to make the numbers. Don't want to see that. I'd rather see the guys, you're in full flap configuration, and you're slowed up, you're doing 60 knots, 60 to 65 knots, sometimes slower. That is a region where you need to be considering pitching for speed and power for altitude. So unless you want to go faster, there's no need to pitch down. So it's a matter of reducing power or adding power to control your altitude at that point. And so going up at altitude and doing some slow flight, and letting the guys configure and doing some slow flight, and watching them reconfigure the aircraft to a clean configuration, such as going from full flaps to accelerating, and watching their trend, making sure that they are actually going from 30 degrees of flaps, and watching a positive trend on their speed. I don't want to see guys, boom, just raise 30 degrees of flaps when you're doing 50 knots. That's a recipe for disaster. You should be bringing the flaps up one notch at a time, and those and the speed should have a positive trend, so you're increasing your speed, just like a go around. You would never just bring all your flaps up on a go around. You would bring the flaps up one at a time, 10 degrees at a time, and continue to retract those flaps as you're increasing speed. Otherwise, you can find yourself, in a difficult or dangerous situation. The other thing that I like to do is, once we do the slow flight, I like to see steep turns, and I like to see standard rate turns, standard rate climbs and descents, just to see the maneuverability or controllability of the aircraft. And it's always good to have a stall or two, make sure that the guys understand the concept of, level the wings, lower the nose, or not necessarily in that order, but simultaneously, and the importance of pitch, power, and leveling those wings on a stall recovery, because that's going to happen, on a landing, and it's not going to happen at 3,000 feet. It's going to happen at 25 or 50 feet, and so you don't have a whole lot of time to recover. So you need to be able to recover effectively and quickly. So those are some of the things I like to see. And then, of course, takeoffs and landings. I like to see the procedures, how they do in the Cessna 172. My biggest concern with guys is that they get too slow on the landings. I don't like to see those full stall landings. Maybe some people do, but I'm flying around in a larger aircraft, and there's no room for that. I'd rather see guys come in, on the flare, yes, reduce the power to idle, and touch down at minimal speed. But you should be touching down at about 60 to 65 knots with just a little bit of power all the way down to the ground. And there's plenty of runway. A Cessna 172 is going to stop in a very short distance. So doing full stall landings on the numbers where you're already coming in, skimming the trees, is probably not the wisest thing to do. So those are some of the things I'm going to be looking for with this checkout today. And then, of course, I'm interested in seeing his checklist usage. The checklist, the checklists are important. It's very important to me to see that they apply all of the necessary checklists, because that should be something that you do throughout your entire career. Checklist usage is there for a reason, and it'll keep you out of trouble. It doesn't take that much time to reference a quick reference card, and do a climb checklist, and do a cruise checklist, and a descent checklist, and a before landing checklist. That shows to me proficiency, and that shows to me that this is a pilot who's taking seriously what he's doing. So in my checkout, I'll be looking for other things, but those are my big points. And then, of course, a little bit of ground school to make sure that they understand airspace and communication procedures in and out of certain areas. This area in Orlando is we're right below a Class B in Kissimmee, so there's a lot going on. The airport itself is a Class D, and under the Class B, and then we have a couple of restricted areas like Disney, or prohibited areas. Yeah, it's restricted. And so I've arrived, and so I'm going to meet this fellow. I'm excited to meet him. He sounds like a really nice guy. He's working on a professional pilot curriculum, and he needs the airplane to build time. So I'm interested to meet him. I'll sign off, and I'll let you guys know how things go later. God bless. Take care.